Here's our NHL analyst, Frankie Corrado. So Mitch Marner enters tonight's game with points in 14 of 15 games. He's on pace, Frankie, for a career-high 111. It's a pressure year for him due to contract reasons. What has Marner's ability to step up this season, what's it proven to you?
To be honest with you, I don't know if Mitch Marner could prove anything during the regular season that he hasn't proven already. And that's not a slight at Mitch Marner. That's just how good of a player he has been for such a long period of time. So yes, with Auston Matthews out, with Matthew Knies out, with other players that are significant to the lineup out, Mitch Marner has played excellent. And now add to the fact that there is a contract looming for Mitch Marner, whether it's going to be in Toronto or somewhere else, that is around the corner. He has played excellent all season long. So the only thing that really he's proven to me is that maybe he can block out the noise of a pending contract coming around the corner a little bit more than maybe you would have thought. But as far as his play goes, there's nothing that Mitch Marner has shown this year that he hasn't shown in the past. And that's great news because the contract clearly has not affected how Marner has performed on the ice. And that's big for the Toronto Maple Leafs because this was a year where things were going to have to transition a little bit more. Getting away from how they played in the past, trying to play a different style of game under Craig Berube. Marner has handled that very well. And the contract just has never seemed to factor into how he has performed on the ice.
Yeah, and you touched on this a little bit, how Marner has been putting up these numbers without Auston Matthews. First, the captain was hurt, and now that he's back, Marner has still remained on that second line. So, Frankie, does Marner's ability to drive a second line make him more valuable when it comes to contract talks?
We already knew Mitch Marner could drive a line, and it didn't matter who the centerman was going to be. Like that's, you look back at Mitch Marner, he's played with Matthews, they've had success together. He's played with Tavares, they have had success together. Now, you're not going to put him with other players lower in the lineup. That's not where Mitch Marner belongs. You're not going to test that theory. But Mitch Marner as a winger has shown the ability to be able to drive a line in the past. So again, like we just talked about, there's nothing that Mitch Marner has shown me this year that I didn't already know about him. The real test is going to become playoff time, and that's with the whole team. That's not just Marner as the singular focus, but the fact that he can drive a line without Auston Matthews, that should not be news to anyone who has watched him play over the course of his career as a Toronto Maple Leaf.
All right, tonight the Leafs facing the Blackhawks. Another player with a lot to prove, it's Connor Bedard. He hasn't had the sophomore year many expected. Do you think he'll make Team Canada for the Four Nations face-off?
I have a hard time seeing him make that team right now just because his confidence is low. He's only got 5 goals this year. And if you're going to play on that team, you're going to have to bring something to the table that isn't already there. So what do you do better than someone else? And for Connor Bedard, the ability to score goals, that is going to be his calling card at the NHL. You take a look this season, he's only got 5. Now, at some point, he's going to break out. He's going to be a prolific goal scorer at the NHL level. But we are talking about players who are going to have to do it right here, right now. And with the way things have gone for Bedard this season, you could find a number of players that are doing what he does best. They're doing it better. So with all that being said, I'm not sure there's going to be room for Connor Bedard on this team this year.
Well, we should have our answer shortly. That roster being announced on Wednesday.